What is going on, guys? Back dropping another video. Today I'm doing a tier list. This time it's going to be on layer ones. I've got around 30 different layer ones here, guys. Of course, I haven't got every single layer one, and I'm going to rank them from 3x or avoid to all the way up to potentially 50x and beyond. Now, again, guys, this is based purely on my own opinion. I'm trying to see, what the project's doing, how much hype is there around it, what's the price action like, and also take into account the size of the market cap because this is important. So anyway, let's get into it, guys. First on the list, we have Zilliqa, sharding-based blockchain with a unique concept. Now, this price has been absolutely hammered. This is an old coin, but even still, guys, this is a good blockchain. It's very cheap, it's fast, it's highly scalable, and they actually have quite a big ecosystem with a variety of different decentralized apps on it. Currently sat around 200 million in market cap, I think, maybe 250 million in market cap. And honestly, guys, even though this is an old project and normally, the best thing is to get into newer projects, I still think this potentially can do a pump. This did pump, I remember once, like 10x, in a very short amount of time. I'm going to put this as a 10x. There are better options though, which we will cover later in the video, so make sure you stick around. And next on the list, we have Aptos. Now, this is one of those fresh layer ones. Now, the main thing with this is, guys, is the price action on this has been pretty bullish. It is up around 70% over the past couple of months. So do take into consideration that. Also, it is around 4.5 billion in market cap. So where could this go? To be honest, guys, could this 10x, which would put it nearly a 50 billion market cap? I do think that is a push. And I just think, more eyes are on different layer ones, but this is a good project. But for me, I'm going to put it as a 5x. Again, guys, I'm trying to keep it as, realistic as possible. They are good, they are getting into a variety of different narratives, gaming, DeFi, social, NFTs. But for me, I just think there's better options. Next on the list, we have Avalanche. Now, for me, guys, people normally talk about Solana and AVAX in terms of, those gaming blockchains, which have a huge use case and big partners. AVAX is currently sat at around 11 billion in market cap. In my opinion, guys, I think this is heavily undervalued. Huge ecosystem, huge use case, very bullish team, and they have a huge community as well. And especially with the gaming run, which I think will be insane, I still think this could potentially hit 100 billion. So for me, I am going to put this in the 10x. I think, it's a better investment than Solana. Solana might be a better project overall and have more hype, but it is around 7 times higher in market cap. And next on the list, we have a project which has been beaten up badly. It is A0. Now, this project has some insane partnerships. They're partnered with T-Mobile in Germany, I believe. They have a team which has a huge amount of experience. The bad thing with this has been the price action. The price has just been tanking. People are saying that, it has the team dumping tokens. No one really knows what the case is. Bullish news with this, though, they have introduced a max supply of around 520 million A0 tokens. So this should help the inflation of the token and, just help price action, hopefully. But I do think this is providing a very good opportunity. Very big ecosystem, huge use case within gaming also, NFTs, RWA, and a lot of different use cases. It's also very cheap, very fast, and it is currently sat at around 110 million in market cap. I honestly could see this potentially hitting, 2 to 3 billion in market cap. So I am going to put this as a 20x. For me, 20x is possible for this project. Next on the list, we have Bitcoin, the king of crypto. But in terms of an investment, unless you have, hundreds of millions of dollars to invest, then, you're better off putting it into alternative investments. 1.2 trillion in market cap. For me, this is probably a 3x. I'll put it as a 3x, but more, in my opinion, this cycle, probably a 2.5x. But it's it's that safety aspect, it's that, mass adoption aspect to it, which if you have a huge amount of wealth, then it's a very good option in my opinion, but there's better investments out there. Next on the list, we have BNB, Binance Smart Chain, Binance Coin. Now, this is a very good project. Most people use this to convert it into, BSC based projects, to get in on meme coins, to get in on gaming coins. It is sat around 85 billion in market cap, so it is massive. It's currently the third or fourth biggest coin overall. Where can this go? Realistically, guys, it's also pretty close to its all-time high of around $700. Personally, I'm going to put this as a 3x, maybe a 5x, but there's much better investments. Next on the list, Casper. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys, in terms of, community, Casper community, they are, a lot of people seem to like them. They can be quite annoying, they're always calling for like Casper will replace Bitcoin and all this sort of, just crazy talk. It has ran up significantly, but I don't like how the team get political. They should keep it out. Not people aren't going to agree with what they've got to say. And the thing with crypto is to keep your opinions to yourself when it comes to politics, because that is just not a good aspect of a project. But it probably will still pump. But currently sat around 4 billion in market cap. For me, this is probably a 10x. I don't think it's going to go much higher, and there's better investments out there, and it's rallied up insane over the past year. So for me, better options out there. Next on the list, we have Toncoin, another massive project, Telegram-based blockchain, huge amount of use case. They've onboarded so many users, and they have the potential to onboard, billions more. But for me, in terms of an investment, this has also ran up like 10x. It is sat around 13.5 billion market cap. Where can this go? Can this 10x? Can this reach 130, 140 billion in market cap? I don't think so. I'm going to put it as a 5x. Cardano, this has just been very disappointing. It is up 11%, which is big for Cardano holders, I guess. 12, 13 billion in market cap, old project, price action is not the best, and there's just better projects to get into. Will it pump? Probably. When will it pump? Who knows? Probably at the end of the bull run. Can it 5x? Can it 10x? No, I don't think it can 10x, but it'll probably 5x. But there's no point investing in Cardano, guys. Grab some AVAX, grab some A0, grab some even grab Bitcoin. I would probably get Bitcoin over Cardano, to be honest. Next on the list, we have Chromia. Now, this is interesting because they are implementing a variety of use cases onto the blockchain. They have a gaming aspect, they have an NFT aspect, and they're also getting into the RWA narrative. This is also pretty low in terms of a layer one, in terms of market cap. It is sitting around 150 million in market cap. It is an older project though, so in my opinion, I think there's probably better options out there. But because of the market cap, and I do think it has a good use case, especially getting into the RWA sector, I do think this could potentially hit, 1 to 2 billion potentially. I'll put it as a 10x, but there is better options out there in the market. Kronos, next on the list, another project which seems to have just lost all attention. No one's really talking about this as a layer one. But they do have a decent ecosystem. They do have a lot of decentralized apps. They have gaming projects. They have a variety of different use cases. They also know how to market as well with the crypto.com arena. They also sponsor UFC. It is sat around 2 billion in market cap, and the price action has been pretty stagnant on it. I would say 5 to 10x. I'm going to put it as a 5x, but it could 10x. It could hit 2 billion in market cap due to the amount of marketing they do, and they do have a lot of money behind them. So for me, I would say 5 to 10x. I'll put it at the head of the 5x category. Next on the list, we have Algorand. A lot of people have been talking down on this project, saying it's dead, saying that it's an old project. For me, guys, I do see potential in this. I honestly do. It is currently sat around 1 billion in market cap. And for me, guys, the team behind this is pretty credible. They have a lot of experience. They also have a pretty decent ecosystem, which is growing. There are a few RWA projects on this as well. I do believe Relio are also based on Algorand as one of their chains. I'm not 100% on that, but I do believe that is true. And in my opinion, I do think this can pump. For me, I'm going to put this as a 10x because it is being beaten up so badly. And I just don't see this dying because it has a huge backing behind it and, a huge amount of investors behind it. And I think it has a use case in the future. But there are better options, but it can still pump, in my opinion. Ethereum, 300 billion in market cap. To be honest, guys, as an investment, there's much better options. If you want that security and, the second biggest crypto in this space, which will probably potentially give you a 3 to 5x this cycle. Can it hit, $10,000 this cycle? I don't believe so. I think 7,500. I'm going to put this as a 3x. I think potentially it could 5x, but for me, I think because there's a lot of competitors in this layer one space, for me, it's just not hot anymore. And, overall, I just think there's much better options out there. And next on the list, we have Phantom. Now, this is an old project. They did have a hack, I believe, and a lot of people just stopped talking about this project. A lot of investors exited. But they have rallied over the past few months. And the thing with this is they are going to migrate to the new Sonic token. For personally, guys, I think the market cap it's sat around 2 billion. I think there's better options out there. So personally, I wouldn't invest into this. And also, I don't like token migration. I just think it just limits a project, in my opinion. HBAR, another project which people have seemed to sort of stop talking about this. A lot of fear has been circulating. Price action hasn't been the most bullish. But in my opinion, I think at 2 billion in market cap, I honestly do think this could potentially 5 to 10x. I'm going to put it as a 10x. I think in addition to Algorand, I think this has a huge use case. They have a big amount of use case getting into RWA, and they also have a huge amount of partners with them as well. I believe they're partnered with like LG, Google, Dell, and a variety of different massive companies who will not let this project die. It's also very fast and very cheap, and in my opinion, it's a decent opportunity. I think it's also pretty, in terms of a layer one, it gives you that sort of low risk, in my opinion, in terms of crypto. Of course, not financial advice, but yeah, I think it's providing a decent opportunity. And next on the list, we have Arweave. For me, guys, this is the best storage chain out there. Huge use case, and it's also retraced quite a bit. This did pump around 10x, I think, in the past year, but it has retraced and it's now sat around 1 billion in market cap. In my opinion, guys, I think this can potentially 10x. I do really like this, and the storage narrative is still being slept on. You've got Filecoin. Tokenomics are not very good on Filecoin. Tokenomics are very good on Arweave. And I also think Crust is decent, but Aught for me is a very bullish storage project. You should do some research into Aught. Next on the list, we have my favorite layer one, one of my favorite all-time picks for this cycle, Tectum. With their soft note technology, their payment system, onboarding so many different businesses, huge use case, 3.5 million transactions per second, the fastest blockchain out there. And in terms of partnerships, in terms of marketing, in terms of a community, this project ticks all those boxes. It is still sat under 100 million market cap. I could potentially see this hitting 2 to 5 billion and beyond. But for me, I think 5 billion is very possible. I'm going to put this as a 50x. I could see this hitting 5 billion, potentially more. a very good project, a new, fresh project. This is an insane project. I really like it. Next on the list, we have Cubic. Now, this project is quite unique. It is sort of implementing AI into their system. It's a useful proof of work layer one blockchain, and they utilize AI within their mining systems as well. For me, I think this has potential. They do offer different oracles as well, and they also offer their own AI Goth, which is basically their true AI open source system. So it's hitting layer one, it's hitting AI, two very hot narratives. In terms of its market cap, it is sat around 200 million in market cap. One weird thing with this project is the max supply. It is like, something crazy, which is a bit strange. But can this 20x? I would say 10 to 20x. I'm going to put it as a 20x, but for me, it is a bit more risky, in my opinion. I think even something like Tectum, which is more than half the market cap of Cubic, I think Tectum gives you a lower risk, lower risk appetite as well. So for me, I think Tectum is just a better choice. Next on the list, we have Space Mesh. Now, I've never really been the biggest fan of this project. The price action has just been awful. It just continues to go down. For me personally, I would stay away from this. I just think there's much better options, and it's just very risky in my opinion. Probably will pump at some stage, but then again, literally everything will pump. Next on the list, we have Mantra. Now, this is the first security-based RWA layer one blockchain. It has a huge use case within the RWA narrative, huge amount of partners. And for me, guys, I think this can do really well. It's also low cost and very fast. And the amount of partners they have and use case they have with the RWA narrative is very good. I think Ondo and Mantra are probably two of the safest RWA picks. But when you implement layer one and RWA together, I think this can do really well. It has ran up a lot. So, this is pretty much at all-time highs. So that is maybe going to put some investors off, people who want to get in on the floor. It is sat around 1.2 billion in market cap. For me, I think this can 10x. I think it can easily 10x. Very good project, but maybe wait for a retracement in the price before getting into it. Ori Chain, which you can't probably see with the background. This is a very good project. I do like this a lot. AI narrative, which is very hot, and they are doing a huge amount of, developments with their sort of, staking with their hub. And for me, guys, I think this can do really well. They're also partnered with Injective as well, and partnered with other projects such as Oasis Protocol and also Tron. And it is also sat around 100 million market cap. Where can this go? It is an old project though, so do maybe, if you want to get into newer projects, pay attention to that. For me, I think this could potentially 10 to 20x. Can it hit 2 billion? Can it 20x? I think potentially it can. I'm going to put it as the lower end of the 20x category. But yeah, guys, I think it is a good project. Next on the list, we have Injective, another very bullish project. The blockchain for finance, they have huge backing, backed by Binance as well. It's very fast as well, and they have the potential to onboard a lot of financial institutes. They already have. And for me, this is probably one of the best choices in the layer one narrative. If you want something which is nothing safe in crypto, guys, but relatively safe, and also it's fresh, it's new. You're not going to be getting into an old project which is, just being absolutely dumped. But for me, I think with the backing they have, I think this could potentially 10x. Can it hit 20 billion? I think it potentially can. So yeah, it is a very good project. So it's a very good option for layer one, and they have huge backers behind them. And next on the list we have Sai. Now, most people are talking about Sui, and the hype is starting to build up with Psy. Naturally, people are going to look for the lower cap competitor in the space. What I do like about this is, sort of the use case that they have, a big ecosystem with the potential to grow very fast. And I just think with this layer one narrative, with this new layer one narrative, can have the potential to onboard a lot of users. The only disadvantage with this is the token dilution, and price action it's been good over the past few months, but in my opinion, I think Sui is a better project. I still think it can 5x, but I think there's better options in the market. Next on the list, we have Cadena. Now, this is a good product. They have a good amount of backing. I think they're backed with, by JP Morgan as well. But for me, guys, the price action has been awful. It is an older project as well. It's down like 99%, and I just don't think it's worth it, guys, to be honest. So it's going to go on the avoid list. It will probably pump at some stage, but everything will pump. Solana, what can we say about Solana? Probably the most hyped layer one. It's just had an insane rally over the past year. It's up like 10x, even more over the past year. Where can this go? It's currently sat around 70 billion in market cap. And this is why I say, guys, when you look at something like AVAX, AVAX is 7 times smaller than Solana. And in my opinion, it has just as a bullish case as Solana. For me, guys, I think, can Solana hit, $1,000 that everyone's talking about? I don't think that's possible. I would put Solana as a 5x. But it is a very good project. There's no denying that. But for me, I would rather invest into AVAX. I think it can give you bigger gains. And this tier list is based on gains overall. Next on the list, we have GraphLink. This chain is very fast. It's very cheap. They're also implementing AI into it. They have their no-code blockchain. You can build different graphs. You can utilize around 300 different blocks. You can integrate ChatGPT. You can integrate DEX tools. You can also integrate different centralized exchanges. You can monitor gas fees. You can do everything literally on this blockchain. You can also stake this as well. And on top of that, they have a very bullish community. And the main thing with this, guys, is the market cap. This is currently sat at 30 million in market cap. For me, I think this can 20 to 30x. I'm going to put it towards the 30x category, towards the higher end of this tier. Very good chain, and I think this is going to have a very good bull run, in my opinion. And next on the list, we have Sui. The hype on this project has been insane, and it just continues to rally. It's up like, 250% over the past couple of months. And in my opinion, it's probably going to go higher, very close to breaking all-time highs. By the time you watch this video, it probably has broken its all-time highs. 6 billion in market cap, though, guys. This is the issue with Sui in terms of investment, because you have to pay attention that, early investors into this are naturally going to take profits. That's what happens in this crypto space. It's still going to do very well. If it was to 10x, it would hit 60 billion in market cap. Can it hit a 10x? With the hype this has around it, I still think it can 10x. But once this hits around 10 billion in market cap, you're going to get like a 5x. So if you can get this under, if you can get this under like $2.50, if you can get it around $2, maybe $1.50, for me, this could potentially 10x, but there's better options, for a 10x. If you're looking for a 10x, I would go for Injective, I'd go for Arweave. Even, I think AVAX, obviously AVAX is around double the market cap of Sui, but I do think AVAX can do really well. Next on the list, we have Tezos. Now, this has just done absolutely nothing, guys. This has moved like a stable coin. It just doesn't have any hype. No one's really talking about this. They do have the partnership with Manchester United, but they're performing like Manchester United, doing absolutely nothing. And it's an old project, and it's down like 94%. To be honest, guys, I would avoid this. If you're going to invest into a layer one, there's much better options out there. It's just very stagnant in price action. Next on the list, we have Tron. Now, another high cap, around 14 billion in market cap. Now, this is a good chain. They do have a lot of developers on it. It is very, very fast. It's also very cheap. And they also have news in regards to VRA as well, using their chain. So I do think it does have a use case. But in terms of an investment, where can this go? If it was to 10x, that would be 140 billion in market cap, which I don't see happening. I think it can probably 5x. I'm going to put it above Cardano because I think it's probably a better investment than Cardano. Just more people seem to be utilizing it, but there's better options to get a 10x, to get a 20x, to get even a 50x. So yeah, Harmony One, I would avoid this. This is just an old project. All the hype has gone from this. It is a shame because in the previous cycle, this had a lot of potential. I did hold this. They had a lot of developers building on them, variety of different use cases, but all the hype has gone down, and it's now sat around 150 million in market cap. Can this pump? It probably can pump because in terms of the short term price action, but long term, I think there's better, fresher projects that you can get into. Terra, dead project. Not a lot more to say in regards to that. So yeah, guys, here we have my opinion, and again, it is based purely on my own opinion. For me, if you're looking for a 10x at least, I would go for one of these projects. And if you want to go for a 20x with a bit more higher risk, then you can go for one of these. And if you want to go for something which I would say has the same risk as some of these projects within the 10x category, I think Tectum is probably one of the best choices you can go for. So yeah, guys, that is my layer one tier list. If you enjoyed my tier list, please don't forget to drop a like. It really helps out the channel, guys. Just drop that like, and it takes like literally 2 seconds. Just motivates me to make more content. And also drop your opinions below on my tier list. Do you think, I got it right? Do you think I missed any very bullish layer ones? And also, drop your opinions on where you think they can go. And also don't forget to drop a subscribe, guys. We are hitting very close to the 2K mark. I would appreciate if you drop a subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video, guys. Take care, and I'll see you soon.